Hello.
We are here. We are here. We are live. Welcome. Another Monday here with the Real Time Wisdom Show. I am Lainey Savante Wolkin. Thank you for being here tonight. It feels like today because it's still sunny out. I'm loving this
Yes.
time change. But I am here with the amazing Derek Spruill. Am I saying that right? Spruill?
Spruill, yes, you are.
So let me just say for the record, in the last year of networking, all of us network, we're all meeting people, we're all sharing our respective talents and gifts and businesses. Derek and his products have been one of my favorite finds
Thank you.
at the top of the list in the last year. And I've met a lot of people, but we love love what you do,
Thank you.
and love that you bring to light um, some important good stuff. And what you just told me off air, proper, like, uh, do you with intention and integrity. That I knew from the get go. So let's
Thank you.
introduce you, Derek,
Thank
to my
you.
audience.
I appreciate that. I'm Derek Spruill. My company is Cherry Blossom CBD. We will soon be Cherry Blossom Hemp in the next couple of weeks. We're kind of going through a rebrand over the last. It seems like it should 6 months, but it seems like a year. It might have been a year. I don't know. It's all kind of mushed together at this point. But um,
Well, because the industry has changed. There's so much constantly changing in your industry.
there's so much changing. There's it's more than just CBD. So that's part of why the change from CBD to hemp, because now we can offer more different cannabinoids, like the new cannabinoids that come on the scene, minor cannabinoids. People are getting more aware and they want them in their products. So CBD was a little narrow. It does get a little hard to market on social media, which is kind of where sometimes we're limited to marketing. And it just hemp is just easier for some reason. It's a more acceptable term than CBD. I'm not really sure why, but it is. So,
I mean, you don't get blocked for saying that word.
Say it again.
You don't get blocked or in trouble from the socials.
Almost like your ads or your attempts at marketing get rejected.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't like the word. It's not like they'll slap you on the wrist. It's kind of like, no, we're just not letting this through the gate.
It's hipper to be hemp. Is that what you're saying?
Hipper to be hemp. Man, you are full of them today. I like that.
I full of every day. Oh, so Joanna's watching. She's not here, but she's watching us.
I was going to ask about that. Hi, Joanna.
We have Joanna in the house. Hi, Denise. And yeah, people come and go all throughout our show. But all right, so let's take it back. So right now you're in this hemp world, CBD. Yes. I will say that yesterday was a very sad day because both of my bottles of my Cherry Blossom CBD gummies, which are my favorite, and the Studio at Pharmadelica Sounds favorite, became empty.
Okay. Well, you need some more gummies.
I'm gonna need more gummies. It's now where every night that's just like every night I take one or two now. I take two, and they're just phenomenal. Like, I mean, we can get into the science of what what they do and why people what the craze is and why you've moved to hemp. But I want to go back a little because when we first met, you told me you were a chef or a prior chef, and then I gave you the deck, and you totally loved it. And then I was on your show. So let's talk about like the food world, and then we'll move into CBD and hemp world.
Well, I'm I'm a chef. I say by trade because I don't do it anymore. It's kind of like some with some of us, it's sort of like being a wide receiver. Like you can only do it for so long physically. You know what I mean? Before you got to choose a different career, and that's part of it. That was part of it. My family stuff, but when food is such a part of who I am. It's such a part of my DNA. And that doesn't necessarily mean I got to go around talking food or preparing food for everybody. But what that does mean is that it very much goes into my decision making, every single day. I might drive my wife crazy because I'll be hitting her in the morning, like, what's for dinner? She's like, it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. We need a plan. Like, otherwise you find yourself just eating anything. And I'm not at a point in my life where I can afford to just eat anything.
Yes.
It gets more
never
important.
Been that. I go through phases, but no, you always have to be kind of conscious because your body's talking to you all the time.
It
right?
is.
Like there's definitely dialogue always going on. Like, wow, I'm feeling a little bit low energy. I need to kind of infuse. There's stuff always going on if you're paying attention. That's kind of what the deck is is wanting you to do, pay attention.
And it's educating you. It's telling you like all these different things, not just about like the almost like the spiritual connection is what's happening to you with the food, but it kind of gives you some background on what it's actually doing for you at once it's consumed. Like how is it benefiting your body? I think that's really the power of this deck.
Yeah. It's so true. Um, yesterday I was a little down and it was cloudy and it was just one of those moods. And I normally have a certain type of I do lots of smoothies. I do smoothies every morning, but each one is intense. But yesterday, literally, I looked in my fridge and I had a mango, and mango's joy, right, in our deck. So I was like, today I'm going to start off with some joy. And I put mango in my smoothie and literally like I don't care if it's psychosomatic. I know it's not, but energetically I was like, I'm feeling better today already. But I just intended in that moment with what I mean that's what we teach is to infuse our body in our temple with what we want to be, who we really are, what our soul's asking us to shift into, you know?
And it talks to you. You're like you were saying earlier, your body talks to you. It's communicating with you all the time. Like for example, when you put something in your body that it doesn't like, it's definitely communicating to you. It's definitely
Oh yes.
saying, I don't want this. I need to reject this. But also, thank you. When you my family's taking care of me right now. They
Hi
probably
family.
seriously.
Hi
I heard me down here running my mouth. It's like you probably need some water.
Water, purity. What else are you gonna feed them? I'll just like name the cards as you're being nurtured by your family.
That's right. But like you're saying that it's communicating, but even on your site, um, it was talking about the vibration of food, and this happens before you even consume food. When you're making food, the food communicates back to you. Like as you're
Yes.
searing chicken, it's telling you like, yeah, it's time to turn. It's time to, move me. I'm almost ready. There's changes of color. There's albumin comes out. It's telling you that, hey, this food is proper. It's ready. It's ready to be consumed. Or when you're eating bread and it's rising, it's talking to you. It's communicating with you right there.
So true. That's the whole point of what we use in our marketing is how to have a better relationship because it is a relationship
It's a relationship, a
and
lifelong one, actually.
lifelong one for sure. And it's funny you use the word proper. That's kind of we have a it's not even a joke, it's the truth. But I have to say, segue, pretend I'm not wearing the Food Healing Oracle deck hat, but we're big on chocolate chip cookies in our house. So we're always looking for the most proper chocolate chip cookie, which we have found. So whenever we're at the store, whoever one of us goes to the store, I'm like, make sure you get the propers, and we always know that's code word for a certain type of cookie. But
Yeah.
proper is also intentionalizing, like, wow, I feel good, you feel good, we're all good. I'm going to transmute it, even though there's probably things in there that aren't proper. To me, it's proper, but you can actually change the integrity. That's the whole idea of what Dr. Moto used to do, which is like, change. You could write the word love on your food, on your water bottle. You can write luck, money. You can write that on your bottle. So when you're drinking that, like I'm drinking, I'm infusing my body with abundance. I'm infusing my body with love right now. I need more love. And so we have adopted that for food.
Huh.
That's what that's all about. But we want to now adopt kind of like I want to bring the food piece in and now also talk about what you do, which I brought. It's funny. Here I am talking to you, but you know that mangoes have the same phytochemical structure as cannabis, right?
Mhm.
Do you know that?
Me too. Know that. And mangoes has
Most people
what they
don't know
call
that, but
myrcene.
we talk about it in the book.
Myrcene is the one of the primary terpenes in cannabis, and myrcene is also found in mango. It's like kind of relaxing. It's soothing. Sometimes you'll even see like certain strains of cannabis or hemp are named like mango kush or mango haze because of that
Huh.
high concentration and miraculously, through soil and sun. I mean, sometimes cannabis can end up tasting like these fruits, You know, like banana flavors come through, mango flavors come through, or maybe not even flavors, but the terpenes hit you on the nose. So like, and you taste and smell are interrelated. So you smell it and you taste it, you know?
So terpenes for those, he's saying that is what creates the aroma, and they're quick and they're powerful and they're good for the body, and that's what provides the deep scent of things. But
Well,
that's also
all
the nutrition.
plants have terpenes. They're the aromatic flavor component. They're natural hydrocarbons that kind of form in the resins of these plants. And sometimes, like rosemary, it's a distinct terpene. You know rosemary when you smell it.
Oh
And
yeah.
these terpenes are there for several reasons in plants. Sometimes, well, oftentimes a deterrent of some sort of the, what do you call it, the plant's natural predator. So there's a theory that hemp came first and developed THC because animals consume hemp. You know, it's like we're just like us. We have endocannabinoid system. It's also, you know, a lot of stuff's anecdotal, so you have to say these things like, you know, these things have been kind of passed down through time, where we started developing our endocannabinoid system in ancient times through consuming plants and animals, or animals that were consuming these plants, but also by consuming these plants as well. So these every single mammal on Earth has an endocannabinoid system that does need to be fed, whether we do it or not. It's there. It's not like just like you have a respiratory system or you have a circulatory system. You have a system that makes sure you go to the bathroom. I don't know the name of that right now, but it should be pretty obvious. But just like you have these systems in your body that carry blood to help you breathe and carry air and things like that, you also have one that is designed to receive cannabinoids from plants.
So just for those, to recap what you just said, both humans and pets or animals, we all have the same endocannabinoid systems.
Mammals in particular. Yes.
Mammals.
Yes.
So hence the beauty of having CBDs for your pets, CBD or hemp. I want to use the term of what you're now focused on. So
well, it's all cannabis. They're all related. You know, they're botanically in the same family. They're like cousins, if you will, or almost, you know, sister, brother. It just one is highly concentrated in CBD and the other is highly concentrated in THC. Those are the two major cannabinoids.
Why is one legal and one's not?
Well, as you know, we kind of freak out in the United States with anything that really gets you intoxicated. You know, we went through this with alcohol, you know, just under 100 years ago. And I think a lot of it is just the unknown, you know, and as you know, you've seen the last 5 years, 5 people say something and then becomes a belief system, you know. Well, some guy, Anslinger, he started pushing this narrative 100 or 80 to 100 years ago that cannabis was bad. It was killing people. They couldn't tell a difference between cannabis and hemp. So it's all outlawed. And, you know, imagine how much forestry we would have had if someone took the time to learn in 1920 about the power of hemp. And I think they knew. It was just this fear, this fear and stigmatization that's been attached to these plants have totally just kind of destroyed our conversation over the last almost 100 years, you know, and really our base of knowledge and how we could have really bettered ourselves in this planet.
By the way, whoever's here, if you have questions for me or for Derek, I'd be asking him. He's a wealth of information. Anything you want to know about the endocannabinoid system, foods. There's, you know, there's God, these days, I mean, there's so many chefs now having these home parties where, you know, start to finish. Have you ever gone to those parties or ever had them where they just have like a 6-course meal? And I don't even want to say by the end of the meal what it's like, but you know what I mean.
We threw a couple where not so much a party, but like we've gone to a party and we've done like an appetizer or a dish and a kind of like a demo, a cooking demo. And you have to be careful because, you know, especially with sweets, people like sweets and, you know, you start, you know, the palate tells you eat more, but then your mind has to tell you to stop because, you know, there's something else is going on here. You know, well, with THC, that is. So, so that is, it's fun but at the same time, it's a responsibility if you're using, stronger cannabinoids like THC or Delta 8 or something like that. We did have a good time like not too long ago where we were kind of vaping CBD and noticed how well it went with wine and how much less everyone drank because it was lifting your serotonins naturally. Like, so you're already in this sort of like, oh, wow, I'm not high, but I'm sort of like, my mood is lifted. I'm happy and I'm drinking wine. And it kind of in the same way that beer and cannabis go together. It was sort of working and everybody's sort of socializing and happy, but no one was really drunk. It was an interesting kind of human display. Like everyone's sitting there having a good time. No one's getting, belligerent, but yet you could tell there's sort of an uplifting thing happening here. It was a really, really magical sort of experience.
Joanne has a question for you.
Hi, Joanne. What do I think of Delta 8 and Delta 9? Good question.
Well, there's Delta 10 now.
There's Delta 10 too. Well, the Delta 9 is the original. That's what we all know as THC. And what we're seeing here are these isomers. And an isomer is the same chemical makeup in a different configuration.
Wait. So, I was trying to put the question back up because several people wanted to know that question. So keep going. Okay.
So, and what they have figured, what's kind of happened in like 2018, 2019, we had this glut of CBD isolate, just 99% CBD powder isolated compound. And they couldn't figure out what to do with it all. Like they had produced too much. And somebody figured out, I don't, apparently this had happened before. This had been discovered in the 80s or 70s, but they figured out, hey, we could take this and manipulate it with some acids. And this Delta 8 was formed. I guess you have the isolate, you mix it with the acid, time and temperature, and boom, all of a sudden, like this happens. And the same thing with Delta 10, the time, temperature, and moisture. So at first I was really against it. I mean, let's be real. The cannabis brought us to the hemp, most of us, and most of us didn't know about hemp. We were 14, no one's handing out hemp to you. They're handing out cannabis to you. So, you come to a point where you get a little older. Maybe I don't want to be high all day, so I go to the hemp. And now it's very interesting that these Delta 8 compounds, which I felt were lab made, I'm starting to look at it a little bit differently. I'm starting to. A chicken is still a chicken, whether it's roasted or not, I suppose. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to be more open and not as judgmental to a lot of these makers and their efforts that they're, we all have a mission. As long as it's not hurting people or killing people, and we know that it's hemp derived, I'm kind of becoming fine with it. I am.
Yes, I am too. Tina's saying she's thanking you for your education.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for coming, Christina. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Wait. God, there's so many things. I'm trying to keep track of everyone. Okay. Denise wants to know, are there different strains better for lifting versus relaxed?
Yes. So sativas are generally more uplifting strains or more mentally uplifting as well. What you normally, when you hear people say that you want like a couch lock sort of experience, that's usually an indica. And it kind of, you think of it in a way of like uppers and downers. I don't really want to use those terms because they're not appropriate to the subject, but for the sake of what we're trying to achieve here, we're trying to communicate, we'll just use those terms. So sativa can be looked at as a marijuana version of almost an upper. If creative people use them, it sparks thought, so people like writers, you see a lot of like as musicians and actors and things. I'm sure you've seen that. So a lot of them participate.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
And it sparks creativity in them. They get places that they say they wouldn't get to creatively without it. Yeah, like opens up the mind.
Pineapple expansion.
Yes. And then when in the evening, when it's time to go to bed, a lot of us right now are having trouble sleeping or staying asleep. And whether it be CBD or THC, both of these compounds help people get better sleep.
Do you know what foods help us sleep? I'll give you two. Well, I'll see if you know them.
Ooh, well, I know there are certain teas that help with sleep.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
like
the
chamomile.
old
I'm
Thanksgiving adage with turkey, of course.
tryptophan. Well,
Yes.
one is in our deck, and it is cherries.
Really?
Cherries actually help you sleep at night. So if you
Huh.
ever, even dried cherries, I know they have a lot of sugar in them, but they actually do help with sleep, and so do walnuts.
Get out of here. So
Hmm.
you got like a cherry walnut tart before bed, like every night.
There
And not
you
only is it
go.
delicious, but you're like, putting
You'll
yourself
be like out.
right out. Exactly.
Between that and your products, like, there's, but not all kidding aside, the whole idea is to, like, slow down the rev. So anyways, I hope that answered your question, Denise. He explained that very well.
Well,
And
can I point
food,
something out?
I do.
We
Yeah.
just did. We have a show. We do a couple, YouTube segments every week, and one is called "Did You Know?" And we talked about, does hemp get you high in 3 segments. And we talked about the natural serotonin increases from using hemp. We talked about all the different types that do not get you high, and in part 3, we talked about hemp that actually does get you high. And they're really short segments. They're like 2 minutes. So if people want to go and check it out and just get a couple minutes. And I kind of go a little bit more in depth than I did here.
Well, make sure you put that in the comments later, or let us know, let the
Okay.
audience know, how to access that. I have a question.
Yeah.
So when, we used to call it, it's probably dating me unless people still say that, when you get the munchies, but when your appetite increases, is that with is that with CBD, hemp, and cannabis, or is that just cannabis, or what is causing that increase of, like, I want to eat everything that's in the refrigerator?
I find that to be more common with THC. Like, something about it just makes you want to just chow down. I don't really feel that way with the hemp. Um, I there I have conflicting stories. Some people say that they take hemp or CBD and it helps curb their appetite, and some people
Suppressed,
say that
yeah.
it helps,
Yeah.
boost their appetite or increase their appetite, and we're all chemically different. You
Yeah,
know,
I just was curiously me as a little science nerd was curious to know what the science is around that and stuff.
I, you know, I I do say that when there are, like, with minor cannabinoids coming out that are the THCVs and CBDAs, and they're also saying that help curb the appetite. So, but a lot of those things are like found, like, usually in combination with CBD as opposed to THC. You know, we have these conversations, but there's a lot of people out who may be listening who use all different types of products. Maybe these CBD based, maybe THC based, and they have different things mixed in them. You know, and they may be seeing some of these different new cannabinoids, CBGs and such, and a lot of these claims that people are making. I just want to, like, do your research. That we
For
sit here and
sure.
we talk this stuff. We'll talk it. You'll hear and a lot of people have different opinions, but there's really no substitute for you researching what works best for you. Because, like I said, we're all chemically different. You and I
Well,
could
and
do the
to
same
add to
thing and have
that,
different results.
well, and do you have, to add to that, what we were talking about just before we went on air, and for people to know this, is that just like anything else, well, that there's standard products, and there's ethics, and there's integrity. So you need to know what you're buying, and you
No
need to
doubt.
know how they're preparing it, and you need to know how things are done. Are they clean, and what is their process? And Derek, I believe in, I know this of you, that you take the highest standard. So I feel that vibrationally. That's why I think Howard and I are so in love. By the way, do you have a bottle? Even though, are you still having any on your website? Because I know you're
I have. Well,
clearing them out.
we still have all this stuff is actually being discounted on our website. So this is our tincture. We have some of that out there.
Love
We
that. I
still,
do that every night if I don't have the
it works
gummies.
very well, especially for people who don't want. We have, well, the cherry blossom CBD products were, none of them were smokable or inhalable. So, like, a
And
lot of
Denise
these
has
products
one
were.
for pets.
I do have one for pets. I should have been more prepared and had all this stuff here. I just thought we were just kind of like having, like, chit chatting.
Well, that's okay. Well, we're gonna go back to the deck in a minute, but I just wanted to
We'll-
kind of get that in there. Yeah, they should go to your website because you're having a clearance.
I didn't want to come here and be like, it's all about selling my
But
stuff.
I'm doing it because I'm a fan of your product.
No,
So
thank you. I
you're gonna get
appreciate
that.
it.
But now we're
No,
gonna talk about the deck.
Okay. That doesn't mean I don't want to sell stuff, guys. So like, buy some stuff. But, you know.
It does, and you should buy it. And honestly, I'm not hawking it. I just said literally like the last, I was like really like, oh no, the last two. No, I mean, it's a standard product here and at our studio, and that's for real.
Oh,
Um,
thank you. Thank
all
you.
right. So when I met you and we started timing out the deck, did you really know what an oracle deck was,
No.
or because it's like I talk to a lot of people who are kind of in the woo woo world and they're like a little esoteric, and then there's people who are sort of mainstream. There's a whole mix of people who've come to adore the deck, and I would say that you were more on the mainstream side, but you tuned into the intuition of it, and that's what I find so rewarding, is that you got it without having to be like, the oracle tarot person. So I just wanted to touch on that a little bit of like your impression of, you say you've been doing it with your family and using it, so I just wanted to have you share a little bit about that.
Well,
Not to
I
put you on the spot.
it's funny because like I said I love food, and this wasn't like this was a very easy step in for me, so I just sit here and I'll just learn about food. Like you said, I understand what you're trying to communicate, and I understand some of what these foods already do. So it's like, oh, and I'm playing around and I'm making my meal, for the day, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's it. And it's always a surprise, which is pretty good. I'm kind of like interested, like, well, where is my energy today? What does this say? Or what is for me today? What's the message for me today? Where should I concentrate my energy and my mental today? Whether you believe in what's happening here or not, it's fun. It's fun. And it's almost like you're saying, it's almost suggestive. You know what I mean? Like, I had no idea what I'm going to pull today, and I pull, I don't know, let's go anything. Banana.
Okay.
Spontaneity. Spontaneity, and then you go on this, you go into the book, and then you're kind of reading about bananas, and the hard part is not reading ahead, because you just want to keep reading about these foods, and like you're telling stuff. I don't know. This just point out a line in bananas.
I was gonna have you pull a card for me, and then I want to pull a card for you. We're gonna swap.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
We want to start over? I can pull another card. Or we
All
can
right,
go.
let's start over. Okay, we're clearing the deck. We're gonna be spontaneous, like, right?
That's right. That's right.
That is spontaneous. Okay, so what do I need to know right now? And then I'm gonna pull. What do you need to know right now? And then we're gonna pull cards, both of us, on what the listeners need to know right now.
Okay.
Not right now, but after us.
Okay.
Okay.
So
he's not a reader. He's just pulling a card.
I'm just pulling
whatever you feel intuitively. I'm going to go with.
Okay, hold on. I'm getting myself.
And thanks for being so brave. Some people would be so nervous, like, oh, I don't want to read the reader.
No, it's okay. Any card. Grapes.
Oh.
Attitude.
Yeah.
I don't know what that says about me this week.
Wait, is that for me or for you? You're pulling for me.
I'll pull for you. Okay, that's even better. I feel better about that now.
You pulled the grapes for me. That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Really?
It's all in the attitude.
Okay,
should I read? All in the mindset.
Should I go into the reading?
No, I co-wrote that. I know what it says.
Okay.
But I wanted you to tell me, like, looking at that card, what do you think I should know?
What are you?
I'm just helping you access your intuition. You see that card. What do you want to say to me about attitude?
Lainey.
Yes.
Well, you got a little attitude work to do this week, huh? You feeling a little tense? You feeling like, you want to kill that man of yours? What is going on?
What are you watching? Just kidding.
Oh.
No. I actually, I look at it as, because I've changed my attitude from when I was feeling down, ate the mango, got more joyful. Now my attitude has shifted, and I'm now moving into more sweetness.
Go ahead. I like that.
All right, now I'm going to do one for you.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's, I always laugh. I don't know if Frederick's watching, but he's the one who created our app. Did you know we have an app?
No, I did not.
Our app is amazing. Our app is amazing. And you literally, because you never want to be without the deck. our app actually, we had the app before we even had our cards, and it's on any app. It's on any app store, Google, Amazon, Apple. It's under Indigo's Oracle. But what's really nice on the app is that it has all our cards, all our meetings. It's got actually different spreads on there that aren't in our deck, in our book. And I use that all the time when I don't have my cards and I'm somewhere. I could just say, what do I need to know right now? Or what is my body craving? I'm at the store, but it pulls up all the cards. So it's another way of using it. It's called, like, I'm going to put it in here. The app is called Indie, Indie Goes Oracle. Really, really fun. Something to use there.
Indie
But
Goes Oracle.
when he had us send him the picture of the grapes, he says these grapes are all wrinkled at the bottom, like they're all dried out. And he says, send me another one with the grapes all pretty. I'm like, no, that's what we want, because life is that, right? Attitude determines whether you're looking at something sour grapes or
No
like
doubt.
a fine wine, nice and sweet grapes. So
That's
we
right.
want that.
Who took these pictures? Like the same person took all these pictures for this?
No, different people. Yeah, we have them curated. Do you like them?
I do.
So thank you. When you take the reader, we have a certification program. Actually, we have one coming up next month. We spend 2 days. Well, the first day going over all 60 cards. Like, why is there 3 of this? Why is there 4? Why do you see white? I mean, we really go into it because there's deeper layers, not just a picture of grapes, but there's reasons we chose those pictures, why it's blurred out or why it's expanded. And it's fascinating because then even there's more layers as to what the decks and the message is wanting to tell you, more than just a picture of grapes or a picture of kiwi.
Can I ask you a question? I get the impression that, especially like what you just said, like there is more of a belief system in the community to this than I understand, than I realize. And can you tap into that? I'm not kind of feeling like I'm interviewing you, right? But like, you tap.
I think we're natural interviewers because we have shows and we've been doing this a while. But yes,
maybe.
ask away.
Okay.
I would love this.
Yeah.
Yes, we actually call our community cherries because that's our cherries card. But we have a very worldwide cherries. We have several certified readers. We have over 70 plus that have come through our program. We're just filling for next month, but we do these certifications for people to go deep. It's a deep dive for those who want to tap into their intuition, who want to expand more and to understand the connection of us as nature and our chakra system and food, chemistry, but also spiritual. We really bridge spirit and science, and the cards are just the character, but we provide the nutrition, we provide what's happening. Why is, for instance, here, I'm using the mini deck. Why are those lines floating? Like, what is really happening in this card? We explain it all in these programs. So then people, when they're looking at their cards at home or with their family or whomever, they have 10 more other reasons besides what we wrote in the book. Why this is coming up and what is going on there. And it helps you. I mean, we say all the time, you'll never look at food the same way again. And it's true. And these cards, once you take the program, give you that. I mean, it's like an arsenal of nourishment. You'll never cook the same. You'll never look at the food. I mean, you thought you had a consciousness of food, but then when you know that, wow, there's something having to do with angels, there's colors that make sense. There's just all these multiple layers. So that's kind of, yeah, there is a bigger community that share the philosophy of understanding food, how Mother Nature wanted us to not abide by it, but like commingle and exist with it. That's why.
No doubt. I mean,
right?
This is something we do 3 times a day, at least 2 times a day. You can't make it more than a couple days a week without eating or drinking. So this is it. I wish sometimes, even myself, that we all thought about those things before every, culinary decision, and you would really have a more respect for what you're putting in your body. But I mean, I'm not saying that I don't, go and get Wendy's every now and then, because I do, and I enjoy those kind of things. But it's really a conscious effort, to kind of put, Mother Nature into your body. Like, if you believe that you're connected and you're part of the earth, and that we're all ashes to ashes, dust to dust, then, and you are what you eat. You should be putting the earth inside of you. You know what I mean? It's almost like a circular connection.
Thank you for that. And what's really interesting is that I have found automatically that I'm already craving what was the card of the day. For instance, last week I woke up and I got the shadow card, eggplant. But literally, I had already woken up saying, today I'm going to the farmer's market. I'm getting eggplant. I'm making baba ganoush. And then I put two and two together. I was like, wow, like I already was saying, like, I'm ready to come out of the shadows and make, this very light filled dish that my family loves. And it's just, I go back all the time and marvel, but the more that we can do it, it's like, we start to understand our relationship with ourselves a lot better. And then that's what helps balances our mental state and our emotional state and spiritual. And that's why we're teaching EMPS wellness, and why you create, and the products you do are also for wellness. I think also for emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual wellness. The products you do.
Yes.
So that's why this is like a great synergy to talk about these things together, but also consume them and, take them together. There's a couple messages here. I just wanted to see what they were saying. Oh, Christina, I am certified. She uses a deck often in her center. She's even laid them out with a client with a Reiki session. Highly recommend. Thank you. Okay. Kathleen. Oh, Kathleen's here.
Kathleen. Woo! How we met.
Well, exactly. Love learning about the power of cherries. Thank you, Derek, for sharing all of your knowledge with us and your passion for educating us.
Thank you, Kathleen. She's the best.
Yes. She is the connector, right?
She's the connector. Yes.
She's like got the bowl of cherries, like so many people. She's got this community that's helping everybody to do pineapple, which I'm actually having tonight.
She's connected cherries all over the world, man. Like, she's just, she puts pieces together. She really does.
I got to jump back into her cherries. I know that group. I'm getting back. I just have been slammed, and I'm going to be gone the month of April. Woo! Speaking of which, this is the last show I'm going to be doing for the next 4 shows. Joanna will be back, and she's going to have Denise will be here. She's going to have all sorts of different guests throughout the month. But I am blessed to say I'm finally going to see my daughter in Australia, and it's a long time coming. So anyways, funny enough, look what I got. I just pulled the cherries card. But I didn't pull it. I just happened to see it. So now I'm going to pull a card for you, Derek. And I think Kathleen should get a deck. She really needs to know more about this.
She should.
I think she'll love this. Okay, so this one's for you, Derek. Do you have any question, or I'm just going to say, what do you need to know? Because then we're going to pull one for the group, and then we'll call it good.
Okay. No, I don't have any questions.
All right. I'm just going to
I do have a comment, though. This is similar to like the experience you get when you garden, and like you've never gardened before, and all of a sudden, like, I didn't know, like, everything's communicating with you. You're kind of having this interpersonal relationship with your plants. It's almost the same thing, like these surprises, this learning, this like, oh, I didn't know that about grapes. You know what I mean? And it makes you kind of want, I'm going to start eating more grapes. You know?
Yeah, the resveratrol really kind of
does some of the similar thing in the mind. It does. I just wanted to point that out.
Do you know the whole theory about spitting on your seeds while you're gardening?
No, I do not.
Ever heard of that?
No.
I've taught it before, but I'll just share that with you. That there's they're called Anastasia principles. It's like she was a nature spirit in Russia or something. But anyways, the whole idea is that the family this is what we did, because this is what we learned, that you use your saliva. Like, you say you have seeds, everyone puts their collective saliva in, and you plant the seeds, and it energetically assembles the perfect nutrient for that body. So for instance, everything that we grew in our garden had our energy, our vibration, our DNA of the 4 of us, where if you got something from the Isles, wherever across the world and imported, and how long it took to get here, and different soils and different energies and different cultures are very different when we consume it in our body. That's why we have to, I pray over my food. You got to transmute that energy, but having food that you garden yourself with your own saliva is a tip that I learned. If you
That
do
really, really
garden
makes
out
sense,
there,
actually.
don't you think?
It does. It does. I know there's some people out there who don't really, who think all this energy talk is kind of like, hokey. But if you understand that we're all just energy walking around in a temporary shell, it makes really good sense.
Well, Joanna doesn't even know this, but I'm going to be launching I'm big into nature, right? Nature, we are nature, and we teach nature. It's in the book here, and then that's a big part of our certification. But I'll be doing a very extended nature's. It's basically nature's 5 elements. It's going to be a healer certification, going deeper into that, and it's going to be its own program. But what I wanted to share about that is that people don't realize we are nature. And that's what we explain a lot in this book. And then in the certification, that we think going out and seeing the trees and, putting our feet in the dirt, that's all great. But, we are earth, right? Our bones and our air is, our breath, and we're our fire, our spirit is our soul, our water is our blood. Like, we are walking 5 elements. And so it
Yes,
would
you
make
are.
sense to eat according to the elements of our body, so everything works in harmony. So
Your
that's what we're
body energy feels different when you're in contact individually with each one of those elements. Like if you're submerged in water, it's a whole different energy. If you're in a plane, it's a whole different energy. You got your
exactly
hands in soil, it's a whole different energy. And you slow down and think about that. There is a different exchange happening.
right. No doubt. All right, here's your card. And then we're
Okay.
going to pull for the audience.
Oh, figs. Oh my gosh.
Figs. You got the meditation card.
That's very interesting.
Do you
How
eat figs?
that. I do eat figs. I do eat figs.
Do you put them
And
with, like, I bet you do balsamic on them, right?
I do like balsamic on them. I eat them with blue cheese. They're so good with blue
Ooh.
cheese. Everyone loves, like, of course, the classic, fig Newtons. Or I've never made a fig pudding. It always seemed like it was too much fig. But yeah,
Okay,
it's a
so the
good
main
binder.
question of this card is, where are you at in terms of meditation? Do you have a meditation practice?
Any interesting that you asked me that is that
That's the
that
card you
started
got.
about a month ago, 2 months ago, and I was trying to meditate for a long time, and I felt like I just wasn't connecting. Like, I don't know, maybe my mind was just moving all over the place. So I actually went to a guy. He called himself hypnosis, but it really is sort of a self meditation, and he taught me how to channel in, and just, a lot of it's just quieting things out. But there's a lot of times where you just sort of in a it's really just a state of trance, really. There's times where you talking to another human being, and you'll find yourself off in if you think about a real state of meditation for a couple seconds, because you're not paying attention. You're just like, oh, that thought took you someplace else. And it's powerful. I'm trying to get better with it. I'm trying to stay locked in longer and kind of see what happens, but I can already
Well,
see how it's
it's been
playing out in
asked.
my personality.
If you're getting that card, it is a pay attention card, because I think there's some nuggets for you. Because the meditation is, if you can clear away all your thoughts and has to do, and all the branding and all the take a moment. And I have several meditations. We have several, actually, food that are connected to the food healing oracle deck, but also Denise and I have these young livings. They're connected to the oils. But I have so many meditations. We have so many. I have a nature meditation too. But I think there's going to be some nuggets for you for listening. Like, there's going to be some answers that are waiting for you. If you can go in and spend, even if it's like, I'm going to give myself 1 minute to do nothing but just sit here and breathe in and breathe out. And, you gradually work yourself up to 5 minutes. But even if you gave yourself 5 minutes, our meditations We call them 5-minute medicines. But boy, you can, prayer is asking, meditation's receiving. But I
Hmm.
suspect there's that card is for you because it's asking you to kind of like take those moments. There's some info for you. Like that's going to be your channel for some info to come through.
I think you're absolutely right about that. And kind of like going back what we were talking about is as far as sleeping, one of the biggest things that I've found is I try to meditate right before I go to bed, and I'm sleeping better. It's like, I don't know, maybe it's just like a putting my bags down, I don't know, but it just seems like in the morning I feel more refreshed. I'm less kind of like, I just want to stay here. I'm like,
Huh.
oh, I'm ready to go. Yeah.
Tina, what is she saying? She's always got such good info. We're gonna have her on the show. Frankincense and the palm breath in and out for 5 minutes is equal to 1 hour meditation. That learned this at a Young Living event in Utah. Thank you for
Huh.
that.
What do you
So
mean the palm breath? What does that mean? Oh, wow. Really?
yep.
Huh.
Yeah. I sometimes go like this and then I fire it up and then I breathe it in, get a little
Just put
fire
like
and
some
activation
frankincense oil
going.
in your hand and just.
Yeah, it depends on whatever the oils are. I mean, I have so many. In fact, I have a meditation. We just finished it today called Believe. That's going to be the next one in this series. And the Believe oil, I was listening to it and I'm watching UPS pull up. Howard comes in, brings me the package. I open up and I'm like, I don't want to be distracted. I'm listening to Believe. And I open up, it was the Believe oil. I was like, I just took that as a sign, like to believe, like believe that everything fits together at the right time. Like, oh, I'm listening to you right now. It'll be out April 1st. But I can send you a sneak peek
I
because I
mean,
think this might be really good for you to hear. I think it's one of our most powerful ones.
okay. Yeah, I'm in.
All right, I'm going to pull one card for the group, and then I think we're good. And by the way, I think Denise already has gone shopping. Just ordered for myself and my fur baby.
Hey,
Eight.
thank you, Denise.
Yes.
Denise, thank you so much. Really.
Yeah.
Thank
See, there'll be more.
you.
There'll be more. Well, I'm looking forward to trying all your new products, but I still need to order some of my
Well,
gummies.
just I know we'll have time. I was going to go ahead and do my shameless plug in there and throw my email, but
All
we
right,
can do that
I'm gonna
later.
do a card. Okay, I'm gonna do a card for the audience, and then
Okay.
then do your shameless plug, and then we
Okay.
will be complete.
Okay.
Okay. So this is all right. So I got grapes. He got meditation. So attitude, meditation, and for the audience, including Joanna, who's in the audience today. Oh, interesting. There are 60 cards in this deck, right?
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's like we all need some
How often
quiet
does that
time.
happen?
You know what? More than you think.
Really?
Sometimes when Joanna and I are on here, obviously she's at her house and I'm at mine, we pull cards, we go like this, and they're the same. It's like that's another like pay attention. But the fact that out of 60 cards and the meditation came twice, I think everyone should go listen to the meditations on our website. But we have ones that are related. Like if you're pulling cards and you're like, wow, I keep getting peaches over and over. I need some positivity. We have a positivity meditation, or we have several, like $1.99, but they're so powerful because they really anchor in the energy, just like eating the food. But hearing these meditations are sort of that extra way. But
When these things happen, you find or do you look at them as coincidence, or this is just where the energy is pulling us both at the same time?
it's just for me, they're signs of confirmation that like
There you go.
real-time wisdom right now is on point, going, yep, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. So um for instance, like that breathe meditation, that could have been done in a week. It could have been done a week ago. It could have been later today, but in the exact moment he got it done. I was reviewing. Here comes the oil. It was just like, wow, okay, everything's coming together. And now I have time to get it done before I leave. It's just like that. I follow the energy current of like people, places, groups. When the energy's not there, I'm out. I just kind of follow. And so I'm in things, I'm out things, but I don't beat a dead horse. It's just when things are time to leave, it's like the energy moves me somewhere else, or, something else opens. So I just kind of follow it that way.
Clearly, you're
Like
paying
you.
attention, right?
I'm paying
Like
attention, but same with you.
you're paying attention.
You saw kind of a trend that was not in alignment. You started to look, and now you're moving into a new direction. Like
Yeah.
you follow that too, without having to have all the esoteric backup behind it.
I think everybody has it. It's like they just don't pay attention. A lot of people just don't pay attention. They're just so,
But I'd be
you
paying
know.
attention if you're watching this, the fact that we got this, to take some time and start listening and paying attention to some of the messages that are waiting for you.
I think you're right.
Okay.
Absolutely right.
We are complete, except let's just do a shameless plug. Go
Let's do
for
it.
it.
Well,
I've had a blast.
You're so smart, and you have such a good, not to beat the dead horse, but you have a really good energy. You really do. Um, you know, it's funny. I was talking to my business partner Larry this weekend, and we were talking about energy and I was like, he sort of like doubted what I was saying, and I was like, no, like like when you talk to someone and you're just like, not them, like that's energy, and yours is really good. It's very warming. It's very receptive. It's helping. It's healing. You can feel that.
No.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
that was your shameless plug.
Thank you.
So
I'm
I'm Derek. We're Cherry Blossom CBD for now, but we're going to be Cherry Blossom Hemp. And Cherry Blossom Hemp is, we're sort of keeping the same philosophy. We've always been a full spectrum company. We always believed in the synergy of cannabinoids, terpenes, and flavonoids, and how they work inside of our bodies. That doesn't always look the same in each and every one of us. So we offer different products for different reasons. We will still have some of our stuff as long as it lasts on Cherry Blossom CBD, but we're becoming Cherry Blossom Hemp. We're going to be offering 3 different types of live resin cartridges. And if no one knows what live resin is, it's about as much true to the plant extract as you can get. The flower is flash frozen, just like a vegetable, as soon as it's harvested. So all that terpene and cannabinoid profile has been encapsulated. The flower gets processed from there. And what you're enjoying from us is just that, the result of just that flash freezing, encapsulating flavor and smell, and all the cannabinoid benefit. And then boom, it just process it and just use it. So we have live resin, we have CBD diamonds, and we're going to have 3 different types of cartridges of focus. And this is not anything crazy in there. This is just minor cannabinoids. It's just a selection of minor cannabinoids for the focus. We have a calm, and we're going to have a sleep, which has CBN. CBN is just a cannabinoid that helps kind of induce relaxation and sleep. So sleep, focus, and calm. I think everyone's going to love it, and it's everything in there, but the high. So
no question. And by the way, Tina, you should get in touch with Derek. She has a store. You guys should hook up. Okay, so thank you. And how do they reach you now? Is there a new website?
Oh, cherryblossomhemp.com. Sorry, that was the most important part. www.cherryblossomhemp.com.
I'm your wing girl.
Yes. We're going to be changing over all of our social media. So our Cherry Blossom, it should still be taken to the same place. I'm not the social media person. I'm just telling you what they're telling me. But yes, you'll be going to the same place, just with a different address.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Lainey, you're awesome.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
You're awesome. Maybe you should take our certification class. Just saying, just putting it out there. Meditate on it. There.
Yeah, maybe not this year. Let's get a couple things knocked out, and then
at some point.
I need to come down to Florida. We got to get you up here to DC. Show you what this DC life is all about. It's actually a thing.
DC. I don't know why. You're in DC?
We're in Maryland, but we're all DMVers. There's DC, there's Maryland, there's Virginia, but we're all we're all district people.
We actually do have someone coming down from Virginia for the certification this time. So yeah, no, I was up there. So yes, I will be back up there. I was just in Atlanta last week, and that was fun. Oh my God, what a fun town. That's a crazy good town.
It is.
Good people, good vibes. Loved everything about it. Can't wait to go back.
It's like the New York of the South, but with 10 times better weather.
Food was great. Everything.
So good.
But it was a little chilly for this Florida girl. All right, so
Ah,
hey, everybody. First off, Derek, thank you. Always
you're
fun
welcome.
hanging
Thank
out
you.
with you. This was a blast. And again, I won't be here, but it doesn't mean you should be here. So for the next several shows, come hang out with Joanna, Denise
Okay.
Flood, Tony Wangle, and whoever else. There's always great topics, always great readings and healings. And thanks for being part of this community. Thanks, Kathleen, for being here. And again, you know us, foodhealingdeck.com, cherryblossomhemp.com, and I will see you all. Stay well, stay healthy, stay safe. God bless.
See you, Lainey. Thank you. Enjoy your trip.
All right, Derek, hold on.